Hi, what's up, everybody? Good to be back with you. We got another 1908 game for you, and if my mouth looks a little bit strange or if I sound kind of odd, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I just had a root canal. It was actually a secondary root canal on a tooth here on the upper left side of my mouth, a canine tooth. And so I was under quite a bit of Novocaine for a while, and it hasn't quite worn off all the way, but I figured that might as well, since I can't really eat anything, I might as well enjoy my lunch playing a little bit of 1908 with you. And we've got the Superbas at the Giants here. Superbas, Brooklyn's at 5-5, the Giants at 6-4. First up is Tim Jordan, and the roll there, as you can see, is a 12 for a 24. We do have a little E to worry about, as we always do. Love our little E. And, ooh, it's an 11, which means that it's going to be an error. That is going to be an error on Bridwell, and that puts Jordan on at first base, and here comes Tommy Sheehan. Now, I have to check, and look, there's no 11 in the first column. We always have to check. He has them in the second column, not in the first column, and so we're probably not going to do a hit and run. We could try, but he'd get thrown out if this is a walk, and it's a walk. The roll is a 45 for a 14. Now, it's just a ball against McGinnity, who has that Z. Second roll is up, and it's a 43 for a 29, and that's a comebacker over to McGinnity, who throws over to Bridwell, who made that error at shortstop, covering the bag for the force out. They can't get Sheehan at first, though, as he's able to beat it out. Here's Harry Lumley. Lumley rolls a 12 for a 24. We do have another little E system to worry about, or little E roll to worry about, and it's another 18, which would be the shortstop again, but unfortunately the roll is a 63. That's going to be a ground ball again to Bridwell. Shortstop throws over to Doyle, he of the knife fight, and he throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the first inning, and here is Fred Tenney. Fred Tenney for the Giants rolls a 52 for a 27. That is a ground ball over to third base, and it's Sheehan who has it for the out. And then we have Larry Doyle here. I'm sorry, it wasn't Doyle who had the knife fight. That was Donlin. Larry Doyle probably was a tough guy in his own regard. He rolls a 51 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to shortstop. It'll be Lewis who grabs that, throws over to first for the out. So this is what happens when I have the Novocaine. I can't remember anything. Next up is Roger Bresnahan. He rolls a 41 for a 28. That's another ground ball over to shortstop, and it's Lewis who makes the play, throws to first for the out. We go to the top of the second. This will be John Hummel up there, and he rolls a 12 for a 24. And there's the possible air roll as the dice fall off of the table. The E roll is a 31, and that means it's a ground ball again to Bridwell. Shortstop's getting everything so far today. There's a throw to first for the out. Here's Maloney. He rolls a 64 for a 29. A comebacker to McGinnity. That's the other type of play we've seen, and is thrown to first for the out. 2 away, and here is Harry Patty, our hero, and he rolls a 45 for a 14, which is a walk even against McGinnity. He then steals second base because we know that Patty had the ability to steal second despite the fact that he's S. He's slow, and he's slow because he could steal bases but didn't know how to score runs. Here's Lewis. And you sabermetricans, go figure that one out. Lewis rolls a 53 for a 20. That's changed to a 22. And Patty normally would be able to steal third, but he's an S, so he holds at second base. Lewis again. And his roll is a 23 for a 32. That's a little fly ball over to right field, and it's going to be Donlin who has it for the out. Mike Donlin comes up now. Donlin is the one who had the knife fight. If you didn't watch that video yet, you should check it out. Donlin had a knife fight back in 1900. It was in a bar on a Sunday morning around 4 in the morning, and he got his hands cut up and got his face cut up like around here and around here. Less than 5 days later, he was back in the starting lineup. Donlin rolls a 61 for a 27. Ground ball to Sheehan at third, throws to first for the out. Funny thing about that one is that the doctor at the time was quoted in the paper as saying he's going to be out for, about 3 weeks or so, which is crazy itself. And he was in less than a week, back in the lineup. Cy Seymour rolls a 46 for a 30. Fly ball over to Hummel in left field for the out. 2 away, and here's Art Devlin. He rolls a 36 for a 32. That's going to be a fly ball over to Lumley in right field. We go to the top of the third. Here's Bill Bergen. 55 is the roll for an 8. There's a base hit against McGinnity, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Pistorius, who's going to bunt. So when it comes to having the root canal and coming back to do this, I mean, at least I wasn't in no knife fight. The roll for Pistorius is a 55 for a 9, which is great against the C because it means it's an out. It's a bunt over to the left side. Devlin has it, and he throws to first for the out. Doyle covering at first base, and Bergen moves up to second. So now Bill Bergen in scoring position with Tim Jordan up, and there's something going on here. Jordan there rolls a 23 for a 32. That's a fly ball over to Donlin and right for the out, 2 away. Sheehan now rolls a 61 for a 27, and that's going to be a ground ball over to third base, and it's Devlin who has it and throws over to first for the out. Bottom of the third is Jack Hanifin up there. Hanifin rolls a 43 for a 29. That's a comebacker to Pistorius. Throws to first for the out, 1 away, and here's Bridwell. He rolls a 53 for a 19. That's changed to an 18. That's going to be an error once again on the shortstop, Lewis. Or, I'm sorry, an error on another shortstop. This time it is Lewis. And here is McGinnity for his bunting opportunity. He rolls a 12 for a 25. That does bring up that little E again. And this time the rolls a 65 out of the range. It's going to be a pop-up over to the catcher, Bergen, who makes the catch and throws over to Jordan at first to double off the runner. We go to the top of the fourth inning, still nothing going on. Here is Lumley, rolls a 43 for a 29. Comebacker to Joe McGinnity, throws the first for the out, one away. John Hummel now rolls a 55 for an 8, and that's going to be a single, but Hummel is thrown out trying to steal second thanks to the little C. 2 outs, and here's Billy Maloney. Maloney up there rolls a 33 for an 8, and he gets that single to center field. Third hit of the game for the Brooklyns, and here comes Patty. Patty rolls a 42 for a 13, and he strikes out, and that does that. And that is the end of that inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the fourth inning as I'm looking over to my side just to make sure I'm actually recording this. Fred Tenney up first, and Tenney rolls a 53 for a 19. Tell me this works. Yes, it does. And that is that is a roll that is changed to a 22. That'll be a ground ball over to Jordan, the first baseman, who makes the play, flips over to Pistorius for the out, one away, and here's Larry Doyle. See if I can not only say what I'm supposed to say, but if I can figure out what I'm doing. Doyle now rolls a 16 for a 26. That's a ground ball over to Harry Patty. Throws the first for the out, 2 away. And here's Bresnahan, who rolls a 44 for a 7. That's a single to right field. First hit of the game for the Giants. And here comes Mike Donlin, and he rolls a 65 for a 35. And there's a pop-up over to Bergen behind the plate. Go to the top of the fifth inning. I'm guessing that those on Coogan's Bluff, are a little bit upset about that one. Really, really poor offensive showing from the Giants so far. Lewis rolls a 31 for a 9. That's a pop-up over to Devlin, the third baseman. One away. Here's Bill Bergen. Rolls a 54 for a 45. It's going to be a fly ball over to right field, and it is Donlin. There you are, making the play, 2 away. And here's Pistorius. And Jim rolls an 11 for an 8. That's a single to left center field. That'll bring up Tim Jordan, runner on first base, 2 outs, top of the fifth, no score. Jordan rolls a 36 for a 30. That'll be a fly ball to Seymour, the center fielder, for the out. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Here is Seymour, who rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball to Lumley in right field, makes the catch for the out, one away. Art Devlin now rolls a 45 for a 14. That's going to be a walk. And up comes Jack Hannafin, runner on first base. We're going to have Hannafin bunt. Of course, he rolls a 33 for a 7. Would have been a hit, sending Devlin to second, if not to third. Instead, it is a bunt over to Jordan. The first baseman makes the play, throws over to Patty, covering at the bag, and there's 2 away. And here's Al Bridwell with a chance to drive one in. And he rolls a 24 for a 13. That's a strikeout. He goes and sits down. We go to the top of the 6th inning. This is what happens. It's hard to get that right balance because you don't want to have too much offense. You don't want to have too much just swinging away in 1908 because it's 1908. At the same time, you have to make sure that you bunt at the right opportunity and hope that you avoid getting good hit numbers when you're supposed to bunt. Sheehan up there can only swing away. He rolls a 33 for a 7, and that's a single to right field. Hit number 5 for the Brooklyns, and here is Harry Lumley. Lumley's going to swing away. He rolls a 45 for a 14, and that's going to be a ball. Next rolls a 21 for a 30. That's a fly ball over to left field, and it's Hannafin who has it for the out, 1 away. This will bring up Hummel, and I think we're going to have him bunt. And rolls a 55 for an 8. That would have been a base hit. Instead, there's a bunt back to McGinnity, the pitcher, who throws over to the second baseman, Doyle, covering at first. 2 away. That brings up Billy Maloney with a chance to drive one in. And his roll is a 35 for a 13, and he strikes out and goes and sits down. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Kind of hard for Brooklyn to win if they can't score or get hits or do anything. McGinnity rolls a 52 for a 27. That's a ground ball to Sheehan at third base. Throws the first for the out. 1 away. Here's Fred Tenney. Tenney rolls a 25 for an 8. There's a ground ball over to the shortstop, Lewis, who throws over to first for the out, 2 away. And here is Larry Doyle. Doyle with the 23, and the result's the 32. It's a fly ball over to Lumley in right field. He has it for the out. We go to the top of the 7th, still no score. Harry Patty now. Patty rolls the 34 for a 44. Fly ball to center field. Seymour has it for the out, 1 away. And here is Lewis. He rolls a 53 for a 20, and that is going to be an error. That's an error charge to Doyle, and that puts a runner on at first base with 1 out, and that'll bring up Bill Bergen, who really has to bunt. Pistorius is a better hitter. Bergen rolls a 45 for a 14, and that's a ball. Thankfully, it's nothing bad. Next tries a 13 for 38, and that's going to be a good bunt that goes down, and that is a Bunt over to Devlin, who throws over to Tenney for the out. Lewis is a slow runner, and he stays at second. Normally, this would call for him to go to third, an extreme rare play. Luckily for the Giants, that didn't happen. 2 away now. Pistorius is up there with the runner on at second base. And he rolls a 61 for a 27, and that's going to be a ground ball over to Devlin. Third baseman throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Bresnahan up there rolls a 44 for a 7. There's that base hit. He needed that earlier. Wasn't it Bresnahan who popped up with the runner on? I don't remember anymore. It's all water under the bridge. Bresnahan, though, is not quite fast enough for us to hit and run. And so Donlin will swing away. And he rolls a 23 for a 32. Mike hits a fly ball over to right field. Lumley has it for the out. You know, Mike Donlin originally came up as a pitcher. He was a pitcher and did pretty poorly in 1899 for the Cardinals in his 3 outings, but he was a pretty good hitter, so they changed his position. Here's Cy Seymour. He rolls a 51 for an 8, and that's going to be a single to left center field. Bresnahan will stop at second base, and the Giants have something cooking now. Here comes Art Devlin, and we're going to let Art swing away instead of bunting in this position. And he rolls a 16 for a 26. It's a little infield fly over to Harry Patty for the second out. Here comes Jack Hanifin, 2 on. And there you go. He rolls an 11 for a 0. And his next roll is going to be a 45, probably a 6. It is a 6. There's a chance this might be a home run because of Pistorius' M. First roll is an 11, and this next one has a good chance. And it's a 45. That's it. And that's a home run, 3-run home run for Jack Hanifin. It's 3-0 Giants just like that. And we go to Al Bridwell. 2 outs here, bottom of the 7th inning. Bridwell rolls a 23 for a 29. Comebacker to McGinnity, who throws to first for the out, but is too little too late. Top of the 8th inning, and the Superbas is now really, really behind the 8 ball. And here's Tim Jordan. He rolls a 45 for a 14. That puts him on first base, but he's not fast enough to hit and run. Tommy Sheehan now, who probably should be bunting, but not with a 3-run deficit. He rolls a 43 for a 29. It's a bunt over to McGinnity, throws over to Bridwell, the shortstop, covering second for the out. There's 1 away, and here's Harry Lumley. He rolls a 12 for a 24. That's going to be a little ground ball double play. Bridwell to Doyle for 1, on to Tenney at first for the 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's McGinnity up there, and McGinnity will stay in this game. He rolls a 26 for a 13. Pistorius will strike on number 2. Now here is Fred Tenney. Tenney rolls a 54 for a 45. And the next roll is a 23, which is going to be outside of the little E range. That's a fly ball to Lumley in right field, 2 away. And here is Larry Doyle. Doyle rolls a 64 for a 22, and that's going to be a little ground ball over to the first baseman. It is Jordan who has it, and he flips over to Pistorius for the out. And here comes John Hummel as the feeling starts coming back into the left side of my mouth. Hummel rolls a 14 for a 43. We do have a little E roll, though. And, that's a roll of an 11, which means that's going to be another error on Bridwell, his second, I believe, of the game. Here comes Billy Maloney with Hummel on first base, and he is fast enough to do something, so let's do something with him. The roll is a 45 for a 14. This is where we need that 11, and Hummel is able to steal the base. Maloney, though, better hope he gets some kind of hit roll. He rolls a 34 for a 44. That's what we needed with the hit and run. Instead, he hits a fly ball over to Seymour, the center fielder, for the first out. And here is Harry Patty. His roll is a 12 for a 25, and that's a line drive over to Doyle at second base. He makes the snag and then flips it over to Bridwell, and they double off Hummel, and that does it. The Giants have won this game 3-0 on the strength of that Hanifin home run. I sure hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I hope I wasn't too crazy and loopy for you. I will talk with you tomorrow. Goodbye.